and it's going to be called The Force Awakens. Interesting title. We'll see if that still plays out. In the past, there have been title changes at the last minute. Return of the Jedi was going to be called Revenge of the Jedi. And now we all hope that J.J. Abrams can succeed where the prequel failed. And that's to create a movie with credible acting and not rely on cartoon characters to appeal to that elusive 2 to 6-year-old demographic.
What's this?
A local.
But where the prequel did go right is by illustrating the false flag operation and the Hegelian dialectic.
In order to ensure the security and continuing stability, the Republic will be reorganized into the first galactic empire for a safe and secure society.
Emperor Palpatine, or the Emperor as he is referred to by the time he was thrown down a reactor shaft, started off as a mild-mannered senator from Naboo. He then hatched a multi-decade plan using many different alien races as his useful ID-10Ts. That's idiots for all you out there who don't speak nerd.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
He secretly initiates the creation of 2 armies, manages to get elected chancellor under the guise of a humanitarian crisis.
My first act with this new authority, I will create a grand army of the Republic to counter the increasing threats of the Separatists.
Then starts a war where both sides of the conflict have unlimited budgets to fight a war on hundreds of battlefronts, thereby draining the resources of all sides, and doing this under the nose of the Jedi, who just can't seem to realize that the guy walking and talking with them is a Sith Lord.
The dark side clouds everything.
The Emperor even manages to off all of his commanders and convinces his new apprentice, Darth Bad Acting, to kill all the remaining leaders of his confederacy, so he is then the only person with total knowledge of his master plan.
He will take care of you.
Lord Sidious promised us peace. We only want...
Look up the Night of the Long Knives if you want a historical example for that one. Fast forward 18 years, the Supreme Chancellor disbands his dysfunctional government in favor of a dictatorship.
I have just received word that the Emperor has dissolved the Council permanently.
Thus completing a galaxy-wide false flag which started off as a seemingly small planetary trade blockade on his home planet. So by playing off all sides against each other and creating a crisis, which is the Confederacy with a giant drone army, he is able to pull off the Hegelian dialectic by providing his own convenient clone army which he started creating years ago. Emperor Palpatine is the perfect technocrat dictator.
It's treason, then.
So while it remains to be seen out there what will be seen in Episode 7, whether it's Chrome Stormtroopers, the Inquisitor, or Chewbacca with a bionic hand, it will be interesting to see if J.J. Abrams can harness the archetypes and historical references that George Lucas used all so well. The fact that he is now under the Disney umbrella probably means anything meaningful won't be seen in this film. And it'll be a lot of flash and a lot of lens flares. That I can almost assure you.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
But I do have a new hope that he will do a better job than George Lucas in creating a stylistic masterpiece. And if you would like a complete history of false flags, pick up a copy of Terror Storm, a history of government-sponsored terrorism at the INFOWARS store, or you can watch it free on YouTube. Please write in the comments below which in your mind is the biggest false flag that we've seen since 1977, which is the year Star Wars premiered. This has been Rob Dew with INFOWARS.com, and may the Force be with you.
Good. The Force is strong with you. A powerful Sith you will become. Henceforth, you shall be known as Darth Vader.
Hi, I'm Dr. Group. Today, I'm proud and excited to announce a new product to the INFOWARS Life product line. Introducing the first proprietary oxygen-based intestinal cleanser, OxyPowder. Backed by real FDA-approved phase 1, 2, and 3 clinical trials. People are suffering from all kinds of digestive issues these days. All the toxins from the air, the food, the water, everything that you're exposed to on a daily basis ultimately ends up in the gut or affects the gut. My main focus was to come up with a remedy for this, something that's safe and effective that anyone can take on a regular basis to keep their intestinal lining clean. You have over 30 feet of intestinal lining that can be compacted, that can be toxic, that can be full of parasites, fungus, bacteria. What are you doing to keep that clean and flushed out? My recommendation is to clean your intestines at least 2 to 3 times a week to prevent the toxic buildup from going into your bloodstream. You owe it to yourself to take your health into your own hands and start cleansing your body today with OxyPowder. Secure your OxyPowder today at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
The globalist social engineers are not just targeting us with propaganda. They are manipulating our genetics. We are being targeted at every level by estrogen mimickers that lower our testosterone and other hormones and natural compounds that the body needs. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic super male vitality formula sourced from powerful organic herbs and then concentrated for maximum potency. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Super Male Vitality by INFOWARS Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose. For a limited time, we are offering 15% off Super Male Vitality at InfoWarsLife.com to introduce you to this powerful supplement. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality. InfoWarsLife.com.
Well, today we're going to be speaking with Ivan Estevez of the Help Get the F Out campaign. It's a PSA that they're going to be airing starting in Dallas and hopefully going nationwide with this campaign to educate the public about getting fluoride out of the water. They'll be starting in Dallas there because the people in Dallas have the opportunity to vote to take the fluoride out of their water. That's coming up in January. Now, Estevez, along with Dr. Connett, helped envision and produce this campaign. It features actor Ed Begley Jr. in this first PSA. They give you all sorts of perks for helping support this Indiegogo campaign, and they hope to air this PSA during primetime network TV shows to really educate the public and force awareness, force their support for getting this toxic substance out of the water supply. It doesn't even make any sense why it's there in the first place. Ivan, welcome to the show. So please tell us a little bit about the Indiegogo campaign, Help Get the F Out.
Well, thanks for having me on the show here. It's great to be here. Yes, the Help Get the F Out campaign is basically a campaign that we are doing to raise money to be able to buy primetime airtime on ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, and air a public service announcement that we created with Ed Begley Jr. It's about fluoride, and it basically hits some bullet points on what fluoride actually does to people and gives them a plan of action to get together with their local fluoride awareness group in their city to help them work together with the city council and get the fluoride out of the water. So the campaign is basically an Indiegogo campaign to raise the money to actually buy the airtime to air the PSA on television to create mass awareness about what fluoride is doing to people. So that's what the campaign is to do. And we want to do it first in Dallas because Dallas is right on the fence in terms of having a victory and having a lot of people sign petitions and come down to city council right before the vote in mid-January could have a major impact on pushing Dallas towards not renewing that contract. So if we can get a victory in Dallas, that'll create a tidal wave or a domino effect, if you will, for other cities, as many cities are in the fight now to get fluoride out of the water. So basically, after the Dallas campaign, the idea is to run the campaign in other cities, Austin, Houston, San Francisco, LA, New York, Atlanta, Raleigh-Durham, all the big cities that have a big push to get fluoride out of the water, so we can boost the awareness in those cities and get a higher turnout for the people that actually show up with the city council members and so forth to help get it out the city level, because that's where it takes place.
Right, exactly. It is all about raising awareness and getting people to actually show up to these city council meetings. Hijacking the airwaves is a big part of that. I know here when we went to the Austin City Council, when they were trying to make their decision to renew their contract to put fluoride in the water, a lot of people showed up. We did have one city council member that actually feigned a little bit of interest. The mayor actually flipped us off secretively. You know, he thought he was kind of sly with his little giving us the finger. But, you know, I think it was just that there wasn't a lot of awareness until all of these people just showed up. There were actually 2 guys out there doing a fluoride hunger strike. They did that for about 3 weeks to try and raise awareness for this fluoride. But let's go ahead and take a look at the PSA.
Hi, I'm Ed Begley Jr. You know, back in the 50s, doctors on television told us cigarettes were cool, fun, and harmless. They also told us adding fluoride to our water is good for our teeth. But did you know 41% of American children now have dental fluorosis? You want your children's teeth to look like this? You think that's bad? How about your child's brain? Well, scientists at Harvard University published that fluoride prevents proper brain development and lowers IQ. So if people have to wear hazmat suits to handle this stuff because it's so corrosive it eats through concrete, and you're warned to call poison control if you swallow your toothpaste, then why is it still added to the water we drink, cook, and shower with? The good news is countries like Israel and cities like Portland, Wichita, and Davis, California have rejected fluoridation, and we can too. So here's what you want to do. First, get all the facts at fluoridealert.org. Second, go to fluorideprotection.org for everything you need to protect your family from fluoride. Then, work with your city's fluoride awareness group to get this poison out of your community's water.
So obviously that's a very powerful PSA. So what showtime are people going to be seeing this, like during Dr. Oz, or what's the audience that's going to be viewing this really powerful PSA?
Yeah, ideally, you know, we'd like to air it on, like you said, on shows like Dr. Oz, Ellen, trying to think other ones. Basically, I would like to go to Ellen, for example, if we raise, X amount of dollars for this. And I know she's behind the same, she wants to get fluoride out of the water too. So I would like to go to her and say, hey, will you match the funds that we actually raised for this PSA? And, so we can air it more times during your show, because I know you care about your viewers, and, she would love to see her viewers know about this and
Right.
protect themselves from it. So,
Right,
same with Dr. Oz.
Yeah, it's kind of raising awareness that you can get that support of the public to kind of take the stigma away from fluoride, because everyone, oh, well, it's in our toothpaste. The dentists have been telling us for 50 years it's safe. So it's kind of just getting away from that misinformation. How did you get in? How did you get in touch with Ed Begley Jr., the actor there in the PSA?
Actually, Paul Conant and I and Michael Conant, his son, I was trying to produce a multi-part series about fluoride. I was wanting to do about 20 different segments, 5 minutes apiece, and put them on public television. And the funding wasn't there, but I knew I wanted to do something with fluoride and get a message out there. And so we reduced it down to a public service announcement, and we had a couple actors, to kind of choose from. Dr. Conant from the Fluoride Action Network had a contact with. And Martin Sheen was one, Ed Asner was another, Ed Begley was another, and I think Bill Mayer was one other. So I chose Ed Begley. I've been a fan of Ed Begley. I know he really cares about the environment. And so I just figured he'd be the one to do this with. And so that's how, it came from a connection with Dr. Paul Conant from the Fluoride Action Network and fluoridealert.org. So fortunately, Ed was very pleased to do it. And we eventually got it done. So here we are.
Yeah, well, you could tell he was pretty passionate about it, not just reading his cue cards like a good actor should. You could tell he was really, there was some passion behind his words there. You also direct people to some other great resources there in the commercial, fluorideprotection.org, where you kind of let people know about some other things that they can use to help detoxify their body from fluoride. Obviously, our fluoride shield is featured right there, using it as one of the products to kind of educate the public on just different things that they can eat, natural things, and things that their body might not be, might be deficient on, to help them counteract the effects of fluoride.
Absolutely.
So what are some of the things that you're talking about there?
Well,